Everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. It is 7 o'clock Thursday evening, but we're going to do Toy Tuesday tonight. Since we are live, we'll give everybody a few seconds to jump on with us, and then we'll get rolling and check out a few more cool things tonight. All right, we got a few people jumping on with us, and we'll go ahead and get rolling. Like I said, it is Thursday, but we're going to do Toy Tuesday tonight. I was out of town Tuesday and got back late, got caught in a bunch of snow. Ended up driving home on snow-packed roads, and it was a mess, and I didn't get home till late. So no point in even trying to do anything on Tuesday night. But I told you we'd catch it anyway. I threw up a bonus video on Tuesday night and told you we'd catch Toy Tuesday a little later. So anyway, tonight we're going to look at some tiny hubcaps. Actually, I call them tiny hubcaps, but they're actually actual real hubcaps. The old early teens, 20s era cars up into the 30s a little bit, where they had the small hubcaps that actually covered the hubs of the car. Texas is on with us. Thanks for being here, Texas. That's good. We have a comment that worked. So it's always a crapshoot on whether comments are going to work, but hey, we got one, so I'm going to take that as a good thing. But anyway, these things are so unique, and what's so unique about them is kind of like a lot of the badges I collect, is there were so many different manufacturers back in the 20s, or in the teens and the 20s. You know, stuff that we don't even think about today. James from Indy's on. 87 short bed step side. Depends on what you're looking for. I don't have Chevy, Ford, or Dodge, or Dodge in an 87 short bed step. Jerry's on with us. Thanks for being here, Jerry. Great comments are flowing in. That's a good sign. Hopefully it'll at least feed me most of them. But anyway, that's why I really like these little tiny hubcaps, because they tell the story of a lot of these manufacturers that, you know, no longer exist. And that's what's cool when you find something of a car manufacturer that you don't even think about or maybe just heard about, and you find a little tangible piece of it that you can put in your collection. And that's what makes great conversation pieces. Kind of like when we looked at the old titles, you know, a week or so ago. There's just so much of this stuff that is so different, so old, so cool, and manufacturers just don't even think about anymore. So we've got some really great ones of those to look at tonight. So we're going to check those out. As always, if you got comments, questions, throw them up there. Hopefully it'll keep feeding, and we'll sure talk about that stuff as well. So I got a few of them out. We've got tons of these things. There was probably 50 of them in the one box that I grabbed today. But I grabbed some, a couple of handfuls of real interesting ones to look at tonight. So Ottawa, Kansas is on with us. Thanks for being here, Ottawa. So I got some of these laid out here, and these actually are not that yellow. They look really yellow to me. I don't know if they look yellow to you, but they look yellow to me because of the lighting. But these are the small, typically aluminum caps. You can even see the grease in some of these. They were threaded where they screwed on. Tim from Canada is on. Thanks for being here, Tim. Just barely caught that. Who do I ship with? Typically, I ship ground and freight is with FedEx. Small pack I use USPS on is who I use to ship. Just barely caught that comment before it scrolled off, but thanks for throwing that up there, but that's who I use. First cap we've got here to look at is a Locomobile. There again, manufacturers you don't even think about in today's world. This is a pretty decent sized cap. It's almost, covers the whole palm of your hand. So it's a bigger one. I think the Locomobile was a bigger car too. So that was probably more of a premium piece. It had flat sides where you could get a wrench on it to unscrew them. But neat piece of a long gone manufacturer. Next one we've got here, kind of the same thing. Essex Motors of Detroit. This is a smaller cap, same thing, threaded on the inside, the screw right on over the hub. Next thing we've got here, this is a really heavy cap for its size, and this one's still got some grease in it. It's the Franklin Automobile Company from Syracuse, New York. Got a big F in it, very ornate. The F is extremely ornate. We've got some knurling looking in the background with their name all the way around the edges of it. Once again, you've got the flat sides where you get a wrench on it, and this one has a groove in the side of it as kind of a decorative piece, and of course threaded on the inside. Next one we've got another cool piece. Here's a hubcap for a Moon. Definitely a different thing that was back in the day a fairly popular car. I've seen a few of them. I think there's one or two at the at Pioneer Village in Minden, Nebraska. So If you don't remember those videos or you didn't catch the videos from Pioneer Village in Minden, Nebraska, be sure to go back and check those out. A lot of these type of vehicles are on those videos, stuff you don't even think about anymore. Once again, a bigger cap about the size of the palm of your hand. This one had a big beveled edge and then sunk back in where it threaded on. So if you were styling around on a moon, that's probably what your cap looked like back in the day. This is another cool cap, pretty ornamental, the Willys Knight, with the big WK and the ring around it, and they were painted red on the inserts. You know, another good looking cap, threaded on the inside, of course. Here's one that, you know, used to be around up until a little over 10 years ago. Pontiac Chief of the Sixes. This is a smaller cap, also threaded. That one actually has a split in the side over the years. But, you know, fairly plain other than having their name on it. Another cap we've got here is an Auburn. You know, definitely kind of a luxury car back in the day. Big cap, you know, shrunk down in to get to the threaded area, but very ornamental. New Zealand's on with us. Thanks for being here, New Zealand. Glad you made it, Clark. You know, and when we look at these caps and all the designs and the logos, you know, like I talked about the badges. When we look at the Auburn, if we turn around here, I've got one of my Auburn grill shells out. And it matches. We've got the badge on the grill shell with the cap and just really cool stuff. You know, these cars that, you know, aren't around anymore. These manufacturers that aren't around anymore. And that's why I love this stuff. The grill shells, the badges, the caps. It's history. It's history of vehicles that we don't even hear about anymore, much less hardly ever see. Last cap I've got out, and this is another cool, unique piece. And it doesn't say the name on it. And I'd be surprised if a lot of people on here even know what this one is. I do, and the reason I do is I've got the badge that goes with this one as well. Very unique. It's got an animal going through a number 6, so we assume this was probably a 6-cylinder car. Once again, you know, had flat sides on it to get a wrench on it, and was beveled way out and then shrunk back in again for the threaded part. So definitely a very unique cap without a brand name on it, just an animal crawling through the number 6. So the reason we've got this cap is we actually do have the badge to go with it. And here's the badge to go with that. The Rio Wolverine 6 from the Rio Motor Car Company. So I had never heard of a Rio Wolverine. I believe they only made them for a few years. You know, really cool stuff. You know, and the badge, obviously very colorful with the blue in it and the black 6 and the wings, you know, and it just rolls right over to the Wolverine and the 6 on the cap. So there again, little bits and pieces of history from, you know, vehicles that were made, you know, like the Wolverine, I think was only made for a short time. You know, and some of these manufacturers were very short term, much less some of the specialty models they made. So finding these little pieces of tangible history that you can put into your collection is what's so cool about it. So that's what I really like, and that's why I get excited about this type of stuff. Because there's no way to collect every single car out there. You know, it would be, you know, impossible. There's just too many of them. You remember back, you know, if you do a little research back in the 20s, I think there were 2,500 car manufacturers out there in the United States. So, you know, there was just so many of them. But when you find these little pieces of tangible history and you can hold them in your hands, you can hang them on the wall of your garage, because that's why we're here and that's why we do this. That's why we love this hobby, is the history, the stories. So when you get a little piece like this, and then you get another little piece like that, and you kind of have you got some pieces of the puzzle, you know, they kind of fit together. And, you know, they are great ornamentation pieces. And that's the other nice thing about these small caps. A lot of these caps, they're great looking pieces. You can hang them in your garage, you can hang them in your man cave, you can hang them in their bathroom. And they're great ornamental pieces, and these things don't break the bank. You know, and like we talk about that quite a bit on here. We look at these porcelain and neon signs and see some of the stuff in the hundreds and well into the thousands and thousands of dollars. And, you know, and that's not for everybody. You know, some people just can't justify doing it. But they still love the hobby, and that's, you know, when they're in this hobby, and you guys are here hanging out with me because of this. And some of this stuff is not that expensive. A lot of these little caps like this you can pick up for 20, 30 bucks a piece. You know, some of the more common ones are 10, 15 bucks a piece. And even some of the more rare ones, you know, may only be 50 or 100. So they're not excessively expensive pieces. And they're great pieces of history you can hold in your hands, display, great conversation pieces. Show them off to your buddies, talk about them, you know, look them up, do research, learn about the companies. It's just neat. It's the stories, it's the history, and that's why we're here. That's why we all have our cars. That's why we all like our cars. That's why we all like the automobilia and the memorabilia that goes with it. And these little pieces of history that you can hold in your hands and take you back 100 years. Because that's literally, you know, it's 2021 now. We're talking about cars that were made in the teens and the 20s. So we're literally going back 100 years into history to the, you know, the beginnings of what we know today of the automobile industry. So these cool pieces of history are awesome. That's why I like them. That's why we collect them. That's why my daughter and I have picked up a lot of them over the years at swap meets and things like that. And even taking them off some of the stuff that we've drug in and added them to our collection. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Something a little different tonight. And obviously we're on the wrong night anyway, but that's okay. We caught it anyhow. So thanks for watching, everybody. I always appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me. This is a lot of fun doing this, a lot of fun sharing things with you guys, and a lot of fun getting your feedback and involvement. But it'd be pretty boring if you guys weren't here hanging out with me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you have any specific questions, you can always give me a call at 620-786-4428. And, you know, that number's on the pages as well. And if you've got any specific questions about vehicles or parts, if you're on Facebook, please share the video with your friends if they like old cars and memorabilia. And, you know, if you're new to us, be sure to check out the page. Give it a like so you can keep up with the new videos. We're going to post this on YouTube as well as soon as we get done here. So if you are on YouTube watching, please subscribe to my channel. Check out all my other videos on old cars, trucks, automobilia. It's all we do here because that's basically about all I know. So I couldn't really talk about anything else. So that's what we're here, but that's what we're about. As always, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your evening to stop by and hang out with me. Tomorrow night, we've got some more new inventory coming up that I picked up last week, so stay tuned for that. And we will see you soon on the next video. And if nothing else, be sure to jump on Sunday night live with us at 7 o'clock on the Nobody Else's Auto page or on YouTube on the Nobody Show page for Sunday night chat, where we all get together and hang out and talk about what's going on in the old car world. So thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you soon.